Thank you. And first of all, I just want to thanks a lot for the organizers. Great event. Nice to be here. And now for my presentation. It's already there. Wow. And thanks for the technician also. So in this talk, I will go through the changes that have taken place in my own artistic work. And the title you can see there. I will focus my attention on opening artistic applications stemming from the heritage of puppet and object theater. In this way, I hope to shed light in relation to the position of the participant and to the way how I use material objects in applied ways. I have done performing arts in a wide variety of environments together with professionals and non-professionals. My own work history tells the transformation of my role from actor-performer towards facilitator community artist, and at the same time performances have changed from ready-made towards a procedural way of working, where the spectator has changed from participant to co-actor. Studies in applied theater, as well as the possibilities of puppet and object theater, have contributed to these reflections. In a theater performed by humans to people, two ontologically similar creatures participate in the performance event. When we watch puppet or object theater, the degree of viewer participation increases because the interpretation of the viewing event must include an ontologically different performer, a puppet, or an object. When I animate objects, I ask the viewer to accept the idea of the agency of the object in the context of a theater performance, and thus the possibilities of who or what can be the actor increase. First, I want to emphasize how I have understood the terms performing objects and one-with-one performance. Frank Proshan defines performing objects as material images of humans, animals, or spirits that are created, displayed, or manipulated in narrative or dramatic performance. End of quotation. I agree with James R. Hamilton and think that the term performing objects can be ampler than that of animated objects. It can refer to elements that are not animated, but still important when building and experiencing a performance. In my artistic work, I explore collaboration with material objects and participants. I have developed a new form of object theater which challenges a classical status of spectator and builds instead a new partnership between an object animator, and a spect animator, which means participator-spectator. This spect animator's concept I have developed from Brazilian theater director Augusto Boal's term spect actor because of the participant's active role in the process. Since 2016, I have worked with hospice patients at the Koivikko home in Hämeenlinna, Finland. So far, performances have taken the form of one-on-one encounters with palliative care patients. These could be referred to as one-to-one performance. According to Caroline Wake, one-for-one performance is a form of performing arts in which a solo performer stages a situation, action, or event for one viewer at a time. My work, where performance is built together and three elements, material objects, participant, and I, are all needed, could be named one-with-one performance. In the performances I have facilitated in care settings, performing objects have appeared as stage characters. The content to be watched and listened to has come from participants. The SPECT animator's work in the actual workshop has continued since the story is given. She has cast suitable objects for her own story. I have been responsible for animating objects and presenting the story. Animation in this context means animating inanimate objects in a very broad sense. The illusion of an object's independent life is not at the center, and I, as an animator, am always visible. Little by little, encounters and experiments have created artistic knowledge of how to act. The dialogue that has developed between the SPECT animator and me has supported the performance we have built together. My work in care settings aims to achieve this: to create a place through art where to be dialogical and encounter to other. At the same time, the performance has been able to open a space to ask questions and offer other ways of being in and relating to the world. My work can be expressed in a model. This model has 10 steps, which I will now go through briefly. First thing to do when I meet a person in palliative care or in a nursing home is that there must be time to introduce ourselves. We shake hands and say our names. We are exposed to each other's touch. After that, it is easier to start informal conversation. At this point, I make my position clear. I am there as an artist. I ask questions about participants' life so I can get to know her better and at the same time gather material for the performance. I explain always that all our conversations are confidential. This dialogue serves as an important route to the upcoming performance. When a conversation proceeds, it comes time to search and find a participant's story. When working with people who are in a fragile condition, either mentally or physically, it is crucial to understand that non- or part-narrative people could be confined to institutions and have some or all of their privileges and rights as citizens removed for not being able to tell their stories in the right way. My solution is to concentrate in the present experiences. They are still alive, they have continuing biographies, and like all of us, are continually creating their lives, even if in a minute ways. After informal conversation, I introduce the objects I have with me and show some performing objects' basic possibilities. Then it is time to ask from the participant what kind of performance we could make together and to choose objects to play the characters and the scenery. Then it is time to try out how to animate the characters and to add voices and or music if needed. Then it is time to develop a performance from the story. When the performance is over, it is important to have time to discuss about the things we just experienced together and to give possibility to participant to give feedback. One final thing is to say goodbye and to thank the SPECT animator. And now I will show 1 minute video clip which is edited from one workshop which lasted 2 hours. And there is one palliative care patient and me.
Jaha. No onpa mukava nähdä sinua pitkästä aikaa.
Ja on puoliso.
Joo.
Mä sen täältä, että mä tällä.
Joo,
koska
hyvä.
siellä
Laita se
oli
siihen,
paljon
mihin haluat. Niin
paljon, että avauduin, jos halusin. Ja varmaan sitten tässä niin jotenkin ajattelen itse sitä, että hyvinkin voi olla, niin kuin, että jos ehkä niin tämä oli se, vaikka se kotirooli tai se semmoinen arkirooli, missä oli paljon ujompi.
Joo.
Ja eikä sitä aina antanut tarkoituksellakaan mitään, niin sitten taas niin kuin leirillä. Nimenomaan ehkä myös tytöt osaa olla niin hemmetin julmia myös.
Niin.
Yeah, so that was it. And then some final words. The presence of everyday objects in various experiments has so far brought to light, for example, the materiality of objects and opportunities for life, which have helped in interaction, defining one's own identity and ways of expressing and sharing memories. In the practice of performing objects, objects and people can be in a state of co-forming, where every encounter contains opportunities for new beginnings. The action is procedural, during which new connections are made, and art is created, which at its best strives to be involved from the very beginning. There is some references and vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank dir, Riku. Thank you very much. Do you have the translation in your ear already again?
No.
Or? Okay, so
Just a second, I will put it.
I can also stick to English, but probably for the questions it would be nice to have you translated and the translation on your ear.
Yes. Okay, now I can have it. Yes.
Perfekt. Gut, sind gerade schon Fragen im Raum? Mhm. Ich weiß nicht, wer zuerst war.
So the normal situation, I speak English, fine. The normal situation of your shows, is it just for researching in university, or that looks like a hospital? I didn't get it. Do you visit hospitals or go to like therapy to people who need help? Or what's the usual situation of your shows?
Yes. So, well, the video clip was from one hospice. So the woman in there was having like palliative care, and she died 3 weeks after this situation. And this was kind of like starting point for my research, that I first started to go in this palliative care, and that led me to research it more deeply, and it lead me to start my PhD studies. But first I went to see these people in palliative care, and now I'm going to the nursing homes, and so I go there and do this work, and because now I'm doing research as well, so then I videotape and write articles, but the basic of the work is the same.
My question is going in the same direction, because I wanted to know if it's because you are calling it one-to-one performance, so is it for you a kind of therapy, or what is it exactly? Because it's a biographical work, or what is the framing? It's not sure for me.
The framing is applied puppetry, but it's not therapy, because I don't have any education for therapy. So I always, when I go, I ask if I can meet the patient, and they know they're in these institutions that it's not the therapy, but it's just like a possibility to do art together with me, to do puppetry together, because they are there like 24/7 all the time, and it's really boring time, although you have a cancer or whatever. Nothing is happening, and all the things you can think or talk about are negative things, that I will die soon, or I have this, and doctors are coming and nurses are coming. So I try to bring some other kind of things to do art. So that's the framing.
Du sagst, das ist Figurentheater, angewandtes Puppenspiel. Wie reagieren die Menschen? Ist es für sie oft auch Kinderkram, also nicht erwachsenengerecht? Also ich stelle mir das auch so vor, da sind dann manchmal auch Hürden zu überwinden, weil es sind ja erwachsene Menschen und wer spielt schon mit Objekten? Ja? Da wird mich Erfahrung interessieren.
Oh yes, sometimes of course people will say after I have introduced myself and shown the objects, they will say that no thank you, and that's of course fine. But then people who say that okay, I would like to try out, after that I have never had any issues with playing with objects. And I think it's the reason behind that is that when you are in a hospital or in a nursing home a long time, I think you are like eagering some impulses outside and that you still have a possibility to try out some new things. For example, this lady on the video said that she has never done any puppetry. And I said, okay, now it's time to try out. And she said, okay, yes, you are true in that. But of course, some people say that, no, I don't want to do that, and that's fine. Yes.
Okay, my question goes in the same direction, just to get an understanding for the video we showed,
yes.
for the example situation.
Yes.
Because I wasn't able to understand what she said to you.
Yes.
The conversation
yes.
I didn't get. You have your objects, and you still have a little scene or something you play, and then she was it something that she directed you, or what
yes.
was it about?
Yes. So I interviewed her and asked that what kind of story she would like to done with objects. And in this case, this woman said that she would like to go back to her youth when she was 16 and they had 3 girls go camping, and they had big fight there between 2 girls, and it broke their friendship, and it has something that has been bothering her. And she said that she wants to make another ending for that. So we did another ending, and when I was doing it and playing the objects, she was directing me that no, this girl was much more angrier, and she had physical contact to other person. So she had the power to make it differently, and then at the end they made a solution how to end the fight and to make kind of happy ending. Yeah. Yeah.
How many sessions did you have with this woman, or do you have only usually one sessions or more, or how does it work?
It depends. It depends. In palliative care, of course, the condition of the patients can go up and down really quickly. But for example, this lady we met 4 times. And the 4th time we made the performance. So 3 other times. First time I was just speaking with her and just making some silly improvisations with the objects. And 2nd time I was writing the story. And the 3rd time playing a story. And the 4th time made the real performance. And then we had feedback discussion. Yeah, but sometimes I can only have 1 meeting. And of course, it has happened many times that I have arranged a meeting, and I will come, for example, next Tuesday, 10 o'clock. And then when I go there, the patient says that I'm too tired to meet you, and then we will arrange a new meeting. And sometimes it happens that when we arrange a new meeting, then I have a phone call from the palliative care that unfortunately now she's gone, and it's that you cannot anymore to make puppetry with her. But then in the nursing home where the people are living longer time, approximately 1 year now in Finland. So then, of course, there I'm making long projects. Now I'm doing shadow puppetry with 6 older adults, and we have made it now 5 months, and we have premiere next week. So they have made the shadow puppets by themselves. So it differs, yeah.
May I ask? It's maybe too personal, but I am very interested in what is the attraction? What attracts you so much to work with people which are short before their death? Mm-hmm. Can you explain it?
Why?
Why?
Okay, there's at least 2 reasons. First one is very practical one, because this one, the woman who is leading that hospice, I met her in one seminar, and she asked from me that if I know that what kind of artistic things could happen in palliative care unit, and I said puppetry, of course, because it's easy to take there. And she said that how is it possible? And then I was telling those kind of things which Carriot was talking about earlier today, that there is traditions in some cultures that people are using puppetry in that kind of rituals and things. And then I got the permission to try. And I think that, like, behind that, my personal motivation is to try out how I can apply my methods in that kind of situation, and also that because there's kind of like interesting dilemma that I animate something which is not alive, and the people beside me is like alive but really fragile conditions, so it's really fragile things that we are encountering all the time. But of course, because it's so like hard surrounding the work, then I always tell this really, and now I have to apologize, this joke is like black humor. One of my friends asked from me that why I go there and make puppetry, and I said I have always wanted to do adult puppetry in Finland, but it's hard living because we are so small nation. And I started to do adult puppetry in 1996, and then my first thing I did, it was premiere, and they came like 3 spectators, and one of them left in the intermission time. So after that, I was like, okay, not so big money in this business. But now when I go there, at last, nobody is going away during the intermission. Yeah.
Now I'm satisfied.
So we're coming to the end. I would like to pose a question, if it's okay with everyone, to like overstep time for a few minutes, maybe. I wonder, because it's a very intimate situation you're bringing yourself in, and you're learning a lot about the persons you're working with. What strategy do you have to handle your own emotional? I imagine it will, it would like shatter me.
Yes.
What strategies do you have to handle this?
I cry a lot. That's my strategy. Yes, I have to like deal with all the emotions. So I have like working diary, and then I have like, I don't know the proper word in English, but like I have like counseling meetings. In this palliative care unit, there is psychotherapist, and we have like informal meetings every now and then if I have some emotional meetings, like of course they are always emotional, but for example, a few months ago I met one woman who was like 34 years old, and she was single parent and leaving 2 kids behind, and she was like, that kind of stories are really like, so I have it here somewhere, of course, so then it's, afterwards I'm always like, I'm driving home and crying and listening to some nice music, and and then I come here and tell you, and it's also like giving away some of that emotional. So if you meet me this evening, I can cry with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Riku. Thank you for
welcome.
sharing.
Thank you.
Vielen Dank.